What's up, everyone? Before we start, we just want to let you know about our awesome giveaway at the end of the month, where we'll be giving away $500 cash to 3 lucky subscribers. Consider this our way of giving back to you, the fans of TPS who helped to make this all possible. To be entered into the contest, all you need to do is subscribe and have your notifications on. And you've got to be commenting on our videos regularly throughout the month. So make sure you hit that bell along with liking and commenting on our videos. If you're already subscribed and have notifications on, then all you need to do is like and comment, and you'll be automatically entered into the random draw. Good luck! When your favorite team experiences a miserable season full of losing, it's not always such a bad thing. You embrace it, and you simply cheer for them to tank in hopes of landing a franchise-changing star in the next year's draft. But there have been too many reminders throughout the years that players aren't here to tank. Sometimes they're gonna win a meaningless game that you would rather see them lose, because as Herm Edwards once said, you play to win the game. And then there are leagues like the NHL and NBA, where even a perfectly executed tank job doesn't always turn out as planned, thanks to the draft lottery. Simply put, tank jobs don't always work out how you'd like them to. Here are 10 teams whose tank jobs failed miserably, costing them a great player in the process. Number 10. 2017 San Francisco 49ers. San Fran opened the Kyle Shanahan era with 9 straight losses. Not that Niners fans could be that upset or anything, because this meant that they're about to come away with a franchise-changing star in a stacked 2018 draft class. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. They're gonna have a lot of options to choose from. Well, the 49ers acquired Tom Brady's understudy, Jimmy Garoppolo, in a trade deadline deal with the Patriots. Garoppolo took over the starting reins in Week 13, and the rest is history. Garoppolo won all 5 of his starts to help the 49ers finish with a 6-10 record. That dropped them to 9th in the draft order, and they settled on Notre Dame offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey. Not a bad pick, but imagine if they came away with somebody like Barkley. Just think about what he could have done in Shanahan's rush-heavy offense. Quentin Nelson or Bradley Chubb would have done wonders too. But none of that came to be because Garoppolo won 5 games to close out the season, totally botching the 49ers tank job in the process. Number 9, 2018/2019 New York Knicks. The Knicks were the NBA's worst team in the 2018-2019 season, but fans had 2 things to look forward to. 1, the Zion Williamson sweepstakes, and 2, free agency, with rumors that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were interested in coming to the Big Apple. The team traded away superstar big man Kristaps Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks ahead of the deadline, clearly looking to save cap room for the season. Veterans Enes Kanter and Wesley Matthews were also waived mid-season as the Knicks continued the tank job. The Knicks did the job right, finishing 17-65 to earn a 14% chance at Zion. The Knicks instead fell down to number 3 in the order, settling on Canadian stalwart RJ Barrett. 'Twas the New Orleans Pelicans who won the Zion sweepstakes, and Memphis scooped the other highly touted prospect, Ja Morant, with the number 2 pick. Worse yet, Durant and Irving wound up signing with the Brooklyn Nets instead of the Knicks. So tanking and trading away Porzingis to make cap room didn't go according to plan. New York didn't get any of those stars they had on their wish list. Number 8, 2019 Miami Dolphins. After missing the postseason for the 2nd straight year in 2018, the Miami Dolphins began what appeared to be a blatant tank job. Brian Flores was hired to replace Adam Gase as head coach. Miami spent next to nothing in free agency. They bid farewell to key starters Ryan Tannehill, Juwan James, Danny Amendola, Frank Gore, Cameron Wake, and Robert Quinn. Before the regular season, they traded away stud offensive lineman Laramie Tunsil and wideout Kenny Stills to the Houston Texans. In the midst of the season, the hapless Dolphins also traded away top running back Kenyon Drake and superstar defensive back Minkah Fitzpatrick. At that point, the tank was really on. The Dolphins lost their first 7 games and were about to clinch themselves either Joe Burrow or Chase Young, 2 future franchise-changing superstars. But then Ryan Fitzpatrick turned on the whole Fitzmagic thing and helped Miami win 5 of its final 9 games, including a Week 17 road game against the powerhouse New England Patriots. Miami fell all the way down to number 5 in the draft order. Instead, it was the 2-14 Cincinnati Bengals who came away with the first overall pick and Joe Burrow. The Washington football team snagged Young at number 2 overall. The Dolphins ultimately settled on Tua Tagovailoa with the number 5 selection in the 2020 draft. Time will tell if he pans out, but man, from 0-7 to 5-11, talk about botching a tank job. Number 7, 2015-2016 Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks were in a tight race for the worst overall record in the NHL, along with the Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers. The last place team, of course, would have the best odds at the top selection in the star-heavy 2016 draft. Well, Vancouver's tank job went to waste in the final 2 weeks of the season. They had a late-season 3-game winning streak and managed to win 4 of their final 6 games. They finished 28th in the league standings, 5 points clear of the 29th placed Oilers and 6 of the last placed Maple Leafs. The draft lottery screwed the Canucks big time. They moved down to 5th overall, taking them out of the running for one of the elite forward prospects. It was the last place Maple Leafs, who wound up landing future superstar Austin Matthews 1st overall. The Winnipeg Jets moved up in the order and snagged Finnish goal-scoring sensation Patrick Laine 2nd overall. The Columbus Blue Jackets got Pierre-Lucas Dubois 3rd overall, and the Canucks eventually settled on defense man Olli Juolevi at number 5 overall. Well, picking up 8 points late in the season will do that to you. The Canucks won meaningless games and it hurt them in the draft lottery. The end result was a failed chance to secure a franchise-changing scorer. Number 6, 2011 Miami Dolphins. These Dolphins just couldn't get much of anything going early on. They limped to a humiliating 0-7 start, but Miami wasn't alone in the race for the Andrew Luck sweepstakes. The Indianapolis Colts also found themselves at 0-7, and it was a neck-and-neck race to the 1st overall pick. But while the Colts continued to pile up losses, the Dolphins suddenly found momentum with 3 straight W's to move to 3-7. Then they fired head coach Tony Sperano with 3 games to go, replacing him with Todd Bowles. And wouldn't you know it, Miami went 2-1 with Bowles to finish with a 6-10 record. The Colts went 2-14 to clinch the top overall pick, which they used on luck. Miami's late season surge dropped them down to the number 8 selection, which they used to take Ryan Tannehill. He had some good moments there, but Miami would have obviously been better off with Luck or Robert Griffin III, who went to Washington at number 2 overall. Number 5, 2019-2020 Detroit Red Wings. You could easily argue that this was far and away the worst NHL team of the post-lockout era. Really, these Red Wings just had nothing going for them. They stood at 17-49-5 with only 39 points, yuck, before the season was suspended due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The season resumed in August with the top 24 teams competing in the postseason, which obviously didn't include the Red Wings. Detroit finished with a horrid -122 goal differential. They used 4 different goalies. Their .275 points percentage was the worst in 20 years. The draft lottery gave these Red Wings something to look forward to, however. They seemed destined to either get goal-scoring machine Alexis Lafreniere at 1st overall, or another stud forward in Quentin Byfield or Tim Stitzel with the number 2 or 3 pick. But nope. Detroit got screwed big time in the lottery, falling all the way down to 4th. They had to watch those 3 future superstars go to the top 3 before settling on Lucas Raymond at number 4 overall. Talk about a screw job. Number 4, 2020 New York Jets. Jets fans know this one all too well. The 2020 season was a colossal failure, but Jets fans didn't have to be particularly upset. With each passing loss, they were inching one step closer to getting Trevor Lawrence, a once-in-a-generation quarterback out of Clemson. The Jets lost each of their first 13 games, but the equally struggling Jacksonville Jaguars weren't far behind, or in front, at 1-12. And Jacksonville had the tiebreaker because of a weaker strength of schedule. New York's tanking project ended when they stunned the Los Angeles Rams 23-20 on the road in Week 15. A week later, the Jets upset another playoff-bound team, the Cleveland Browns, by a final score of 23-16. That clinched the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes for the Jags, which probably played a factor in Urban Meyer's decision to take up their head coaching job. For the Jets, well, all they had to do was blow 2 more games. Lawrence was in their grasp for 14 weeks until he wasn't. Number 3, 2014-2015 Arizona Coyotes. The Buffalo Sabres and the Arizona Coyotes were far and away the NHL's 2 worst teams during the 2014-2015 season. Arizona's seemingly successful tank job saw them trade away stalwart defense man Keith Yandel, veteran mainstay Zbigniew Michalek, and standout center Antoine Vermette ahead of the trade deadline. They finished 29th in the league standings, only ahead of the Sabres. The 2015 draft consisted of Connor McDavid, the league's best prospect since Sidney Crosby, and another franchise-changing center in Jack Eichel. But when the draft lottery balls were pulled, it was the Oilers who won the lottery for the 4th time in 6 years. They got McDavid. The Sabres moved down to number 2 and got Eichel. The Coyotes got robbed, falling to number 3 and settling on forward Dylan Strome. Strome only played 16 games for the Coyotes, recording 16 points in those contests. He was eventually traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. Those poor Coyotes really did get screwed in the NHL draft lottery, now didn't they? Number 2, 1988 Green Bay Packers. The Dallas Cowboys clinched the first overall pick in the 1989 NFL Draft thanks to a 3-13 record. They took a future Hall of Famer and a 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback in Troy Aikman. But it was the Packers who were oh so close to winning the Aikman sweepstakes. The Cowboys and Packers each stood at 2-12 with just 2 games to go. Dallas picked up a Week 15 win over Washington, while the Packers emerged victorious over Minnesota. Now, they were both 3-12 with 1 game to go. Dallas completed the tank job by losing to the Philadelphia Eagles in the regular season finale. However, the Packers botched things on their end by defeating the Phoenix Cardinals in a meaningless game, and so Aikman became a Cowboy. The Packers used their second overall pick on Tony Mandridge, who was hyped up as the best offensive line prospect ever at the time. Unfortunately, he never panned out, and the following 3 selections were future Hall of Famers in Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Deion Sanders. The Packers blew their tank job big time, but they at least made up for it by acquiring Brett Favre via trade with the Atlanta Falcons in 1992. Number 1, 1996-1997 Boston Celtics. The thing is, this is a well-known tanking case. Then Celtics GM and head coach ML Carr didn't even deny it. Owner Paul Gaston, according to Carr, instructed him to take one for the team. Gaston wanted the Celtics to earn the top selection in the 1997 draft so they could land Tim Duncan by any means necessary. Carr admitted that as the GM, he decided against signing any notable impact players. He was purposely putting together a non-competitive roster as detailed in a piece by ESPN's Jackie McMullen. Carr even recounted a time when he pulled David Wesley during a game because he was making way too many shots. He even warned the players that he was doing what was best for their future and he wouldn't be there next season. The Celtics finished 15-67. Only the Vancouver Grizzlies had a worse record at 14-68. Unfortunately for the Celtics and Grizzlies, it was the equally terrible San Antonio Spurs who won the lottery and came away with Duncan. Many believe that San Antonio kept an injured David Robinson out of action longer than necessary so they could finish lower in the standings. Either way, it worked. The Spurs won 5 NBA championships in Duncan's Hall of Fame career. The Celtics came away with future All-Star point guard Chauncey Billups at number 3 overall, but he was traded to the Toronto Raptors during his rookie year. So, all that hard work and intense tanking amounted to absolutely nothing for the Celtics. That, folks, is a failed tank job if we've ever seen one. But hey, what other failed tank jobs cost a team a great player? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.